Well, I want to welcome everybody back to our last Tuesday of September in our final Tech Talk Tuesday series. We've had a great time.
We've had so much fun.
It feels like we've been doing this now for just a couple weeks, but it's been a month, and I think that's the really cool thing about it. I want to thank everybody at Haran and yourself for joining in. Some of the things we've learned along the way have been something that you can really kind of take home, if you will. But, I'm with Nicole, and just to wrap up the series of learnings of the past month, remind us what we've been kind of discussing over the past 3 weeks.
Yeah, sure, Jeff.
And some of the things that you've kind of recognized from our...
Yeah, I mean, we have talked about all sorts of technology.
Sure.
And really focused on how tech has enabled change in the world of benefits. I mean, that's so important right now, and I think it's going to only be more important in the future. So, really talking about how the benefit experience can be enhanced, not just for the end user, your employees and their families, but also for benefits teams and HR professionals and how they go about their daily jobs. So we really focused on three main areas, Jeff. We talked about the employee experience itself. We've talked about how care delivery has shifted and changed with technology. And then finally, we talked about how you can really enhance the functionality of your benefits program by enabling technology.
Yeah, and I think, the pillars that we're seeing right now is technology is really playing an integral role.
Yes.
And you mentioned before as well, we've had, a couple people on, clients of ours on, that really talked about the enhancements of technology and what it brought to the table. And I think not just for those folks, but for the things that we saw out there from HealthJoy to Our Health to what Heidelberg's doing right now, just the verbiage we're getting from them and some of their comments back to us have really made a huge impact on what's going on.
Yeah, I want to pause quickly on HealthJoy. That was our first guest in the series. We talked to Bob from Richmond Power and Light and talked about how just that technology app on all of their employees' devices, phones, has enabled them to change the way they actually engage and communicate with their employees. I mean, Bob talked about how the old way of doing things wasn't really working. People were ignoring emails. No one reads those anyway. So how can they really engage their employees differently through technology? And HealthJoy helped solve for that. Also brought in telemedicine, which was pretty neat. I mean, bringing in telemedicine and having that right there in the app as well. So while they're out on the job, they have access to all their benefit information and care at the same time.
Yeah, and you think about telemedicine during a pandemic.
That's
and
important.
What we've been going through with quarantine. Not a lot of people really wanted to go to the doctor's office. And I think we talked about it before as well, is Our Health, I believe, it was almost like an 80-20 or 90-10 split between people going to the doctor's office. And then when quarantine hit, we saw 90 people are using telemedicine versus 10 people actually going to the doctor's office. But I think one of the other cool parts about that was Chad talked about how their teams remain personal with outreach.
Yeah.
And how during the quarantine, during a pandemic, how they just reach out to say hi. You don't get that a lot anymore with a lot of people, especially you walk in your physician's office, you barely get a hi sometimes anyway, and nothing against them, but they're always on a computer and trying to do their electronic medical record and all that. But what a cool way that Our Health really did that and gave back during these kind of troublesome times.
Yeah, I mean, that was really neat to see that personal touch behind primary care, just how important that is. Jeff, last but not least, you mentioned our friend Jenny at Heidelberg, and Jenny really talked to us about how her team focused on technology in a way that has helped them change the way that they administer their benefits program. And they really embraced the challenges that her team was seeing and took the time to learn about different benefit administration systems out there and how they might help solve for some of the challenges they were facing. And what I really liked about Jenny's story was, I think was the last piece she told us, where she actually saw her team shift in what they were doing, and instead of focusing on manual data entry, they were able to focus on supporting their associates in such a different way, all because of benefit technology.
Yeah, takes a lot off her plate.
Yeah.
No doubt about that along the way. But hey, listen, I appreciate everyone joining us. It's been an absolutely awesome time the last 4 weeks. Learning about how technology has changed. And interact with our benefits and the benefits across the board. Not only just benefits, but really taking a lot off the plates, like you're talking about, Jenny, at Heidelberg. So, hey, thanks for joining us. On behalf of Nicole, we'll continue our efforts to bring relevant information to you. And if you guys like what we're doing, we'll keep this thing going. But I think, with technology, it never ends. It's always just kind of beginning. And we at Haran here feel very confident, a lot of our vendors and partners that are out there as well. So, hey, for a really cool 4 weeks, Nicole, it's been awesome. Thank you very much. Tech Talk Tuesdays. Stay tuned for more.